Hello dear friends, today we are going to draw our attention to one of God's most precious and vital favors upon us, that's water. But moreover, it's fresh water. And the process by which God Almighty provides us the fresh water, that is the water cycle. In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, have you seen the water that you drink? Is it you who brought it down from the clouds, or is it we who bring it down? If we willed, we could make it bitter. So why are you not grateful? So God Almighty wants us to ponder on the preciousness of water, the process by which God Almighty provides us this water, and as a result to become grateful. Now let's look at the preciousness, vitality of this fresh water. God Almighty, who creates everything, created us as a new species in this existing world, and as you can see in the diagram, He created us mostly out of water. As you can see, heart 75% water, muscle 75%, lungs 86%, our blood 83%. Moreover, most of our vital physiological functions are carried out by God Almighty through the fresh water. For example, maintaining optimal digestive functions and eliminations. So our food that we eat gets digested with the help of fresh water, and the wastes are eliminated again with the water. Very important. And the 37 degrees of temperature that we maintain in our bodies that cannot go up or down, also God Almighty maintains it through the circulation of fresh water in our bodies and many other physiological functions. In this diagram you can see that more important service that are delivered to us through fresh water. Example, thermoelectric generation. The electricity that we enjoy coming from thermoelectric generation by circulation of fresh water. Irrigation. Where do we get our food? Vegetables, meat, they all come from fresh water productions. And our livestock, they depend on water, and many other ones, domestic and residential. So, has God Almighty, the wise one, provided us with enough water? Yes. Look at this diagram. Most of the Earth's surface is covered with water, and here in this diagram you can see that almost 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. So enough water, no problem. But let's look at the next diagram. This diagram shows you that out of that Earth's surface that is covered with water, 97% of it is salt water. Only 3% of it is fresh water. Only 3%. Out of that 3%, 68.7% is ice, inaccessible to us. And another 30.1% is groundwater, again inaccessible to us. Only 0.3% of that 3% is fresh water in our access. So there must be a problem. And you can see in the next diagram that salt water has 965 grams of salt in it, whereas fresh water must have only 35 grams of salt in it. And in the other diagram, you can see that salt water or seawater, which has covered most of the Earth's surface, has 50 parts per trillion salt, whereas fresh water is supposed to have 0 to 0.5 ppt, a lot of difference, big margin. And in this diagram, you can see that this is the entire water of the Earth's surface, of the entire Earth's mass. but that tiny little one is the fresh water accessible to us. So there must be a problem. How could you have resolved it? How could you what type of solution would you have come up with to come up with the shortage of water for humanity, for livestock, for irrigation, for so many uses that you mentioned? Now let's look at infinite wisdom of God Almighty. This is the solution. The molecule of water, the way God Almighty, the omniscient one, the knower of all secrets, designed water was from one atom of oxygen and two atoms of hydrogen. And omnisciently he chose hydrogen to have only one electron in the outer shell and oxygen to have 6 electrons in the outer shell. That was the optimal solution. So therefore, the electronegativity of oxygen is much higher than hydrogen. As you can see, the difference is 1.4. So when these two atoms make the compound of water, they build, according to God's knowledge and omniscience, this covalent bonding, as you can see in the diagram. But because the electronegativity in the outer shell of the oxygen is much stronger, oxygen pulls that pair of electrons that build the covalent bond towards itself. So it makes the oxygen slightly negative as opposed to hydrogen remaining slightly positive. And moreover, the two remaining pairs of electrons push these hydrogen bondings toward the center. So as you can see in this diagram now, the H2O molecule should have had a 180-degree angle, ideally, as it is in the CO2 carbon dioxide, but omnisciently, God Almighty made that particular arrangement between the two particular atoms of hydrogen and oxygen so that the water molecule will have an angle, not only just an angle, but you would be surprised that looking at the particular degree of angle, 104.5, it's here that you surrender to God Almighty, submit to His omniscience. As a result of that angle, the two water molecules bond with each other through the hydrogen bonding. And this hydrogen bonding, because it's hydrogen bonding, it breaks when two water molecules collide with each other, and they constantly collide. Therefore, this hydrogen bonding between water molecules lasts how long? Do you know? 100th billionth of a second. In other words, in 1 second, the water molecule builds another partnership with another water molecule 100 billion times in 1 second. Therefore, water is the only vital substance that can be found in 3 stages of matter: solid, liquid, gas, under normal temperatures. Other materials, you have to supply heat to make it evaporate or to solidify it. But this one, because of God's omniscient design of the water molecule, it exists in 3 stages of matter, regardless of whether it's ice evaporates, or oceanic evaporation, under any temperature. So therefore, it creates evaporation. So lots of evaporation come from the ocean, and therefore it constantly evaporates. So while we have very short amount of fresh water in our excess, and the water in the ocean has 3.5% salt as opposed to 0.5% fresh water, which would not only quench our thirst, but it will even kill us, even destroy our irrigations, kill our livestock. So God Almighty provided a flawless solution that, if we ponder, will shock us, will surprise us, will help us know His omniscience, His infinite knowledge, that the solution was in the molecule of water, the way it was designed, out of 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, so that it constantly evaporates, and while it evaporates, it leaves the salt behind, because salt and water are only a mixture, not a compound. So it leaves the salt behind, it evaporates, and as it evaporates, it ascends and become clouds under the command of God Almighty, or move through wind and other forces to where we live. And once they are there, at due time, in due measures, under God's command, they precipitate, and we get fresh water. So this was barely a glimpse at the infinite complex process of providing us humans with fresh water, and because of us, to provide fresh water to our livestock and to our irrigation. Therefore, we got to be grateful to God, the most generous, the most gracious, the most kind, the cherisher, the loved one, for having provided us with fresh water. Hope this clip will draw our attention to the infinitely complex work and artwork of our beloved Creator, and we start to love Him, start to get know Him, start to build a relationship, a one-on-one relationship with our sustainer, creator, protector, and the one who loves us more than we love ourselves. Thank you very much for your time. Have a good day.